So, yeah, I wanted to talk today about mental health and just about how it's so big a deal to so many people, right? Like, we talk about it nonstop. And I'm really just like to the point where I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's have the discussion about what it really means to us and like how important it becomes. It's still something that we're learning about. And so it's just like we're put in the front lines of this war. And I'm not even kidding. Like, this is just like we have, like, in my family, the history of taking flights to other countries to flee war after participating in the war. They were very persistent on staying in the military and getting their jobs done. The job is like one individual assignment, okay? So if you're like, oh, get a job, you're not talking about your full-on employment or your full-time job. That is not something that really even exists, okay? So what happens is you go through having something that you have to discover. Okay, this is all about exploration. This is all about we're learning, we're growing, we're fitting into places. But when you're fitting into somewhere, you have to recognize that you're not always the first person who came there. Sometimes there's going to be collections of people who are already working or who are already maybe learning how to be in a bigger, better part of society, but it's not our responsibility to tell people that they need to be an improvement to society. It's that we're not there to tell them, oh, you need to do a better job. Like, we're not there tripping on them, telling them that they are suffering with something and so we need to go fix it. That's not what this is about. Charity work and military work does not have to do with trying to make improvements. And it does not have to do with sitting down and taking orders, okay? So all this about, like, you have to deliver something in order for it to be worth it for your day, no. That is just like when you are trying to go from one job to the next job. But what you are missing there in that, if you're doing that, is that you need to check in. And it's actually it's checking out. Okay, it's checking out, because when you're in is when you're doing the job, right? But that's just like a fallacy. Like, that's just like some, like, we're just using that word just to describe that you may have something of a relationship with someone if you get invested in it and you decide that you want to make steps to really do the job thoroughly. But a lot of this is done with teamwork. A lot of this is done with us asking each other for help. Help is not something that we want to be looking down on and saying that it has some kind of degradation or underdevelopment of what really is helping us to get the help, okay? I know, yeah, it sounds like, well, how can that be? It's like what we depend on so much, and so much of what we are doing to take care, to really, like, be providing and having the right elements of, we have our health, we have our family, we have our home. We are mostly doing this as a team, and most of this is done as a group. My parent was like, it's time for you to live on your own. But what he wasn't really explaining was that it doesn't mean that I have to live alone. It doesn't mean that I have to live without any support or love or dependency on other people. Okay, because it's like, we're not really so far from other people that we can't learn how to get along with each other, okay? We have a lot of people live in a situation where they are in peace. And the situations are really just like when you can come up close to someone and you can, like, really, like, be there with them and experience a lot of the same sort of things. And then you come back out of that and then you're like, hey, good job, that was nice. you know. And so like some of the stuff that we're talking about being a mental health awareness and about I just need to find a way to not have this bother me. No, the bothering is just us doing the work, okay? You got to get used to that. We're going to be close to each other for a lot of the things that we're accomplishing. But the accomplishment isn't the point either. The accomplishment isn't what gets us closer to success or to feeling worthy or valued. What that is each tiny little moment that you have where you are taking care. Okay? So it's just like, do you have someone in your life? Do you have plenty of people in your life who are supportive, nice people? And the answer is yes, you do. There are. And they really like want to know, how are you doing? And can I help you get closer to this treatment? Okay, so the treatment is like really big on there's people who keep trying to make something work, and then when it's called a disorder, is really just that there's something that we decided there's a better solution for this. So are you missing information when something is called a disorder? Like really, like are you missing something? Was someone supposed to tell you something important about, oh, we found this other way to get treatment, we found this other solution, and then go and talk about it to the people who are assigned to that? Because like I've been living with this thing where I went to the hospitals, and the hospitals were like hell. They were like ground zero. They were like starting from nothing. They didn't even have proper showers. The food was a lot of times really cold or undercooked. And I'm just like, can't be the focal point of my success of my life, of where I'm going with the mental health awareness. Like the mental health awareness is all just like, we have center points of where we call bases, and we have places that we go to that we feel comfortable, and that is not asking if everybody there feels comfortable. That's not asking if there's everybody feeling is stable and if they have all their question answered. That's not asking that, even if it could be, even if that would make it a better place to be. What we're asking is more as the people who are actually depending on this working and being there as part of the work. We have like so many things that, like, if you are doing the job, you're supposed to feel whole by the end of it. You're supposed to feel like this was put in a circle. This was surrounded by love. This was surrounded by attention. And then you just walk out of the circle and you're like, I'm brand new. This is great. This is amazing. This is what I came here for. And then, like, the whole thing about, like, is there depression? No. That is a flat lie, okay? And I can't even say that seriously, because lying is something we do every day when we're going to bed. Okay, so this is just like, we got these like ways that we're learning now. Okay, maybe we did so much work that it's time for us to get a rest. Maybe it's okay for us to say that if we were jumping out of that helicopter looking for the next country to start making the big news about, that we were gonna settle down with them, and that we were gonna walk down the steps of, like, what is it that these people told us that they need from us? And the needs, like, we can't even really focus fully on the needs either, because it's just like, if we asked everybody to write down what they need, the list would be ginormous, right? Like, it would just be like, it would be something that would be a mission for the entire planet. And so I'm just like, calm down. We can't talk about the whole planet, can we? And it's just like, this is really what it was. Is just like having an association that is organized towards planetary success. Of us, like, when we have this, like, as human beings, as we have this as mammals, as we have this as, like, people who have direction or not, they're still living with purpose. And that is just like, that has not been debunked. Okay, that has not been like something that we need to stop caring about, or that we need to stop like giving our efforts to. Like, there is still people there with purpose, even if you're like, oh, that was hidden, I don't know if it means much. Well, guess what you mean is a lot more individual than what the rest of the country or the rest of the planet means. It's a lot more diverted. Because I say diverted because it's just like, it's the direction that you took to things, to say when you would be like, this is the final boss, this is the final outcome, everything leans on this. But if our future changes because of the steps that we make in our present, who's to say what we have in our future is really just messing with the big guy?